Triple goddess of the sun, you shine on everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Torchbearer of eternal light, daughter of the morning, you are Mary of the Gale Street, Bridget of the flame. You hold the sunrise in one hand, the spark of inspiration. The welcome fires are fueled now to herald your arrival. She has come, mothers eternally welcome. She has come, can't be the fault you roll. Victorious she'll ever be, the flame will burn forever. Triple goddess of the sun, you shine on everyone. Woo! From every corner of the land we come to bid you welcome. The 4 green fields of Ireland are all here to touch your feet. From this day forward you will dwell deep in the hearts of Erin. The welcome fires are fueled now to herald your arrival. She has come, mothers eternally welcome. She has come, can't be the fault you roll. Victorious she'll ever be, the flame will burn forever. Triple goddess of the sun, you shine on everyone. Woo! Protectress of the innocent and refuge for your children. You're a lady of the sea, conception of the waves. You are the sacred breath of life. You are Shri Durga Mata. The welcome fires are fueled now to herald your arrival. She has come, mothers eternally welcome. She has come, can't get a fault to roll. Victorious she'll ever be, the flame will burn forever. Triple goddess of the sun, you shine on every.
O Shri Ganesha, we pay our salutations to you. O Shri Ganesha, we pay our salutations to you. This is one style which mother likes very much, and sung traditionally in India by a person called Anup Jalota. Shri Mataji likes that, and she's been watching Anup Jalota, I heard, in the last few days. So let's hope we can sing at least to some extent on their behalf. Thank you.
जय गणपति वंदन
गणनायक जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक जमी
Jaya 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 Janani Janani Jai Jai Janani Shri Ganesh Ki Jai Jai Jai. Jai Shri Mataji. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to join this evening's UK meditation for Monday, the 18th of November. And we begin this evening's meditation, as always, by raising our kundalinis collectively together and putting ourselves in bandhan. But first, let's really take the whole world into our hearts. This is the heart of the universe. So that we can be raising the kundalini of the world at the same time as we raise our own kundalinis. And as we take the bandhan, we make it wide and expansive so that we cover all of our chakras 7 times. So this evening, we're putting our attention on Lord Buddha. Not because of any special reason in the calendar, but Mother has said many times that one of the great gifts of self-realization is that we can penetrate to the root of a problem from a Sahaj point of view. And when we look at what is going on in the world today, I think that there can be little doubt that ego is, there's nothing new about it, carries on being a massive problem, a massive source of the world's major issues: war,
clash of ideologies, clash of personalities, clash of countries, clashes in politics, ego, ego, ego. And when we reduce it to that, it becomes very simple in a way. So this evening we put our attention on Sri Gautama, Sri Buddha, Lord of the ego. So let's begin with Sri Ganesha's mantra 4 times. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And we just be silent for a little while. Mother, please take us into thoughtless awareness. Let us just meditate on the silence created by the vibrations of this mantra, Sri Ganesha's mantra. O Holy Mother, You have told us that we are here to change the world. And yet when we behold the problems of the world, sometimes they seem enormous, beyond our reach, too big. But then you remind us that when we look on the outside, to solve the problems on the outside, we have to go inside. To reach that divine state. To quote that popular phrase of today, to be the change we wish to see in the world. Inspired by the pure knowledge, not by opinions or judgments, but to see ourselves right, that the world can feel your vibrations by making ourselves the perfect instruments. We all know the story of Sri Buddha to varying degrees. We know that he was born about 500 years before Christ in Nepal. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, and he was born to wealth. He was a prince. And he had a wife and a son. He had everything that one might think a human being could desire. And yet, by the time he was about 29 years old, and he would travel outside these opulent palaces, and he would see the sickness, he would see the suffering. And he saw that his material wealth was of no use against such things. And he tried to find out the truth. He gave everything up. And he started to look for the truth. And he read all the books and sought out all the teachers and did a lot of tapasya. And still couldn't find the truth. And then spontaneously, while he sat under a banyan tree, as Mother has described it, the Adi Shakti granted him his self-realization. And he spent the rest of his life spreading his newfound enlightenment, his newfound knowledge. He went through all the villages. And we don't know every detail factually of his life, but we know that he left a tremendous legacy. His teachings have been preserved to this day, and he is a part of us. He dwells in the Agya chakra alongside Sri Mahavira and of course Lord Jesus Christ. His teachings were many. But I'd like to read a little bit this evening from them. It's a great work. The Dhammapada. I've lifted just some various sections. This is by no means comprehensive, but there are certain things when I was reading through this Dhammapada that resonated with me immediately as a Sajogi, and so I'll just pass these on. Wonderful indeed it is to subdue the mind, so difficult to subdue, ever swift and seizing whatever it desires. A tamed mind brings happiness. Let the discerning man guard the mind, so difficult to detect and extremely subtle, seizing whatever it desires. A guarded mind brings happiness. Dwelling in the cave of the heart, the mind without form wanders far and alone. Those who subdue this mind are liberated from the bonds of Mara, which I take to mean illusion. I'm not certain, but I think that Mara is illusion. It's like Maya. Wisdom never becomes perfect in one whose mind is not steadfast, who knows not the good teaching and whose faith wavers. There is no fear for an awakened one whose mind is not sodden by lust nor afflicted by hate, and who has gone beyond both merit and demerit. Realizing that this body is as fragile as a clay pot, and fortifying this mind like a well-fortified city, fight out Mara with the sword of wisdom, and then, guarding the conquest, remain unattached. Ere long, alas, this body will lie upon the earth, unheeded and lifeless, like a useless log. Whatever harm an enemy may do to an enemy, or a hater to a hater, an ill-directed mind inflicts on oneself a greater harm. Neither father, mother, nor any other relative can do greater good than one's own well-directed mind. And it's so true. The mind is so much like a dog or a horse that when it's untrained, untamed, it will wander wherever it wants and basically take us nowhere. But the well-directed mind is really the silent mind, as we know from Sahaja Yoga. So from another section, by what track can you trace that trackless Buddha of limitless range, whose victory nothing can undo, whom none of the vanquished defilements can ever pursue? By what track can you trace that trackless Buddha of limitless range, in whom exists no longer the entangling and embroiling craving that perpetuates becoming? Those wise ones who are devoted to meditation and who delight in the calm of renunciation, such mindful ones, supreme Buddhas they become. And even the gods hold them dear. Hard it is to be born a man. Hard is the life of mortals. Hard it is to gain the opportunity of hearing the sublime truth. And hard to encounter is the arising of the Buddhas. To avoid all evil, to cultivate good, and to cleanse one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. Blessed is the birth of the Buddhas. Blessed is the enunciation of the sacred teaching. Blessed is the harmony in the order. And blessed is the spiritual pursuit of the united truth seeker. He who reveres those worthy of reverence, the Buddhas and their disciples, who have transcended all obstacles and passed beyond the reach of sorrow and lamentation. He who reveres such peaceful and fearless ones, his merit none can compute by any measure. Happy indeed we live, friendly amongst the hostile. Amidst hostile men we dwell, free from hatred. Happy indeed we live, friendly amidst those afflicted by craving. We dwell free from affliction. Happy indeed we live, free from avarice amidst the avaricious. Happy indeed we live, we who possess nothing. Feeders on joy we shall be, like the radiant gods. Let's just stay in thoughtless awareness for a few minutes again. So that once again we discover how completely the teachings of Sri Buddha, like the teachings of Lord Jesus and so many of the other deities, completely mirror Mother's teachings, our own discoveries in Sahaja Yoga. After Buddha received his self-realization, he found out, as we have, that man's weak point is desire, which leads to possessiveness. We become slaves to desire, not pure desire, but the material desires, the shallow desires, the bright, shiny objects. I, me, mine. My house, my children, my this and that. Ownership creates ego. And we own nothing. We can own nothing. We can only own our vibrations, our self-realization. And we have to nurture that. It cannot be taken from us. We can only bury it ourselves. So next we can say Sri Buddha's mantras. And just before I do that, I'm going to read for you Mother's commentary on these mantras. She says, in Sahaja Yoga, unless and until you really become collective in every sense, you cannot ascend and you cannot wash yourself, you cannot cleanse yourself. This point he did not say, but in a way he did say, Sri Buddha, because he has said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. First, I surrender myself to my self-realization. That's all the word Buddha means, it's self-realization. And then he said, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, means the Dharma in me, I myself surrender to that Dharma, that spirituality. And thirdly, he said, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangha means collectivity. I surrender myself to the collectivity. Now, these mantras of Sri Buddha are said in Buddhism. In Sahaja Yoga, we add one more. And Mother says of this, when you say, Mother, we surrender to you, that just means that you give that horrible ego a complete holiday. It means that is how this ego disappears. I think all just now your agyas are opened out, most of you somehow, and then you'll laugh at everything. You'll make fun of yourself. Just enjoy everything. So let's take all four of Sri Buddha's mantras. The first one being Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I surrender myself to my self-realization. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I take the protection in the path of right conduct that is in Vishva Nirmala Dharma. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. I seek refuge in the collectivity of realized souls. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. And then finally, Nirmalam Sharanam Gacchami. I surrender myself completely at the lotus feet of Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Nirmalam Sharanam Gacchami. And in our hearts, we bow to Mother's lotus feet. In silence for a little while longer. We as Saj Yogis are especially privileged. Thanks to you, Holy Mother, to be better able than we ever were before, to recognize ego, to spot it in ourselves. As Sri Buddha says, it is elusive, it is clever, but we all know what it feels like for our ego to come up. It happens to all of us now and again, probably too often. But we also know what it's like. Thanks again to you, Mother, to be egoless, to be completely thoughtless, at one. And we know the difference. We know in our hearts. And we have the power to cut it loose. We'll listen to a talk of Mother in a moment. But first of all, I want to read a little quote from another talk of Mother. Which I'm just trying to locate at the moment. Yes, okay, so this is one of our greatest challenges, of course, is to keep it that way, to keep, when ego really cannot coexist with, once we're in thoughtless awareness, we can't really have ego. And we achieve thoughtless awareness when we achieve that purity within. So just a comment that Mother made on that specifically was, Buddha realized the greatest problem of human beings is his ego. In his ego, he goes to the extremes from one end to another, and so he worked throughout on the Pingala Nadi for us and stationed himself on our ego to control it. So to help this ego, we have to worship Buddha. But the first principle is to respect your chastity. To respect Buddha means to respect your chastity. And of course, this is made stronger when we are collective. And so we listen to Mother's talk. Is this the end portion of Sri Buddha Puja in 1991 in Belgium.
That means how lucky you are that you are all realized souls. So for our banyan tree is the collectivity. We have to make ourselves subtler beings to be one with the collective. And that is very enjoyable, very beautiful. Those who cannot do it, cannot progress in Sahaja Yoga, they are problematic and they create problems and they trouble everyone. Their attention is bad and no one knows how they stand. So Buddha's message is, of course, is not to develop ego. But how do you do that? First of all, whatever you are doing, you have to say, I am not doing it. It's mother who is doing it, or God who is doing it. I am not doing anything. But if you feel that you are doing something for Sahaja Yoga, it's better you stop doing it. But you should say, it came my way, I didn't do anything, I was just there, that's all. Then you have achieved a great deal. And the second thing is of desire. Even desire of anything, of smallest thing or the biggest thing, or even loving your children, loving your wife, this, mine, all those things. All these desires, if they are not fulfilled, you feel frustrated, then you must know that there is something wrong. But if you understand the sense of collectivity, then you can ascend very fast. I would say Indians are extremely religious, disciplined people in a way. But they are lacking in collectivity. If they could come up to collectivity, they can shoot off. The only nation which I have found very good is Russia. Because of communism, they are collective and desireless. Because all their desires were fulfilled by communistic ideas. They didn't have any choices left. And also they were collective. In a way, communism has suited the public, not the government. While the other way around, democracy has suited the government to make money, but the public has suffered. So we are people who have not been able to know about collectivity. So I would say the collectivity develops faster in the West, no doubt, much faster. But desirelessness is less. So it's like somebody has the teeth and somebody has the food, sort of a thing. If we can see ourselves as we are and try to understand that either we have this problem or that problem, if you could just somehow or other neutralize this one-sided problem, you could be there. Because if you solve one, you can go to another, from there to there. But just to stand in the center and see for yourself, what are my desires? Count them one by one. I mean, if I have to think what is my desire, I become thoughtless. Really, my position is horrible. If I have to think, what should I desire now? I become thoughtless. Sometimes I develop some ego. I don't know from where to start. Must have some ego after all. Everybody has, so why not me? I don't know how to start it. Then, we also have these conditionings of developing this horrible thing called guilt. I mean, it's another, at the time of Buddha, nobody had this problem, I think. This is a modern technique to feel guilty. Some sort of a modernism in it, because I don't know how it is worked out. And this modernism of this horrible thing called guilty is something really has come to my lot to clear out, not at the time of Buddha. I never had this. Otherwise, he would have paved way for me, but that he did not. He's left it to me to clear out your left Vishuddhis and mine also all the time hurting me here. So this horrible thing, especially Western mind, Indians don't have guilt to it, nothing. But this has to be overcome. As you know, that Buddha and Mahavira both support the center of Agya. So, if you have to have a very clear-cut Agya Chakra, then on one side, you should be desireless. You should forgive. Ksham. Ksham is the Bija mantra, is to forgive. Bija mantra of right side. Ksham, I forgive. And the left side is hum. Like the left-sided person always feels, oh, I'm no good. This, he has to say, no, I'm good. Hum, I am. So hum and ksham, these are two bija mantras which we have to say. Of course, if you say, they will act, because after all, now your pranas have become pranavas. Your breath has become enlightened. But rather weak, I should say. It doesn't matter. Your mantras can act. You must use these two bija mantras to clear out your agyas. But Mahavira has a solution for this, that after realization, if you catch your agya, you get a terrible headache. That's Mahavira style. You do anything wrong, you get punishment. You indulge into anything, you are punished. You go against Sahaja Yoga, you are punished. I am not doing it, it's Mahavira. Simultaneously working. If you try to be overly smart, you are outsmart. So these two forces are working from the right, left to right. If you overdo right, then the left hits you hard. If you overdo left, then the right hits you hard. Both of them are really like double-pronged attacks. One says don't have desire. All right, you have desire. Punished. This side. Like some people say, I must have children, I must have children. You give them the children, they say, Mother, why this horrible child you have given me is such a horrible thing. Then somebody says, Mother, give me a lady from, say, Maharashtra. Recently there was a case like that. She was bothering too much, Mother, give me one lady from Maharashtra. And a real special style came to punish. They said, no more from Maharashtra. And she was really, I've never heard of such a woman in Maharashtra. Horrible. Because she was insisting on it, so she had it. She says, no more from Maharashtra. No, I said, everybody is excellent. This was an exceptional case, came just to punish you. So to have any desires, if you cross a certain limit, you are punished, and that is done by Mahavira. In a small way or a big. Like there was a little boy who came to London, very bombastic. And he wanted to buy something for himself. I took him to an ordinary shop and there was a very nice coat, full wool and all that. He wouldn't buy. I want to go to a big shop. I said, all right. So I said, I'm not coming. I sent his father. He came back with an artificial coat from that shop without knowing that it was artificial. Because he wouldn't take something from an ordinary shop. So in the big shop, very nicely, big price they gave, and this they got. Every minute, Saj Yogis must know that there is a Mahavira sitting around. Also, Buddha is there who gives you an indication that don't do this. Do not desire so much. He puts limitations to you. But if you don't listen, then all right, Mahavira is there to correct you. Up to a point he goes. Then you get headaches. Then you say, Mother, why did I get headaches? You asked for it. It's such an automatic machinery that we have to be very careful as Saj Yogis. So today's understanding should be that we all should become collective from inside. We should not grudge or grumble about it and enjoy the collectivity. But the second side of collectivity is this, that do not try to exploit the collectivity. Otherwise you will be in trouble. Like I've seen some people don't know how to use their bathrooms. When you are collective, you have to be respecting the collectivity of others. By your presence, another person should not by any chance suffer, or should not feel in any way insulted or inconvenienced. So when you are in the collective, it should be such that another person should enjoy your company, enjoy your being there. That is something where there is no problem. But if you are demanding and if you are asking for things and you think no end of yourself, you cannot at all collective by any chance, but you will suffer for that. Automatically you will suffer. If this is realized and understood properly, your agya is solved. Like anger. People always boast, I'm very angry with you. Boast. But just make that anger into forgiveness. And you'll see the person, instead of you getting into problems, he will get into problems. Anger will upset you, but forgiveness will upset him automatically. It's the biggest weapon you have got is to forgive. And this is shown in Buddha's character throughout. And this will give you self-respect. That you are not disturbed by anything. Like a ship has to be seaworthy. If you put the ship on the sea and if it breaks, what's the use of making a ship? What's the use of a Saj Yogi who gets disturbed at every moment? You have to be seaworthy. And if you are seaworthy, nothing can disturb you, all right. The elephant is barking and the dogs are barking. All right, let them bark, what does matter? The elephant looks this side like that, sometimes takes some water and blesses them with water. All right, quieten down, so that your head will be cooled down. That will give you self-esteem, and you will know what you are much higher than others. And this is what is how to get rid of your ego, which is a very, very big problem according to you people. But then how to get rid of ego. Ego can be said, you go. When this I-ness goes away, the self rises. What is there to feel hurt? What is there to feel bad? What is there to hurt others? All right, you are cheated. Very good, at least you have not cheated anyone. Be happy about it. But once you are without ego, means you have surrendered yourself. No one can cheat you. Can you understand that? No one can cheat you. Because there is some higher force which is looking after. This is the way we should understand Buddha. This is, we should know our Buddha qualities. This is how our ego can be dissolved. When you say, Mother, we surrender to you, that just means that you give this horrible ego a complete holiday. It means that. That is how this ego disappears. And I think all your just now, ragas have opened out, most of you, somehow. And then you laugh at everything. You make fun of yourself. Just enjoy everything. May God bless you.
And once again, we remain in meditation. So once again, there's nothing more I can add, that I have to say, that can add to all of these beautiful words and quotations. So let's just finish by taking Mother's 3 great mantras in gratitude for all of this awareness and these powers that she's given us. And the next time we have ego, we can just say, you go. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahakali Mahasaraswati. I'm sorry. Let's start again. Oh dear. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunathmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. 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 And now we can collectively, once again, raise our kundalinis and ask Mother to raise the kundalinis of the whole world. And cover ourselves in bandhan. And for those who would like to stay in meditation a little longer, we'll go back to some music. But first, let me once again thank you all listening in from my heart for bringing such strength, such devotion, such dedication, and so much love to these collective meditations. And this is the month of William Blake's birthday. So just a little reminder that on the 28th of November, we'll have a special online meditation dedicated to William Blake, and I'll be on hand for that. And I'm looking forward to it tremendously, and I hope you will too, and join us too in appreciation and worship of the divine incarnation William Blake, Jai Shri Mataji. And the music we started off listening to when we began tonight was this lovely. It was a music program from. I find it now. Where's it gone? Did this? Yeah, no. This one? No. Have I lost it? Here it is. Yes, Buddha Purnima. At Chiswick Town Hall when Mother was here in 2006, and so we'll listen to some more of this beautiful music to play us out, as it were. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.